just moved in one of these 2 rooms.
We're documenting a structure that we found last night.
I'll go up to the house, bang on it and say, I don't believe.
Yeah.
Now,
What the fuck was that?
Did you hear that?
Hey everyone, this is Leo with Everyday Legacy Paranormal, along with Road Trip Paranormal, and this is Cryptic Heartland Podcast, episode number 3. Today is Sunday, May 21st, 2017. It's going to be a fun podcast today. I apologize for tonight's delay. We'll probably still end on regular scheduled time, 9 o'clock, so it's going to be a little shorter one, but we'll get a bunch of information packed into it. Remember, this is the podcast that talks about everything from paranormal to Sasquatch to UFOs, pretty much everything underneath the sun and then some. We'll kind of go down the list here. We have some new faces tonight with the group, so I will kind of go down the list here. Once again, my name is Leo. To my left here, go ahead and introduce yourself if you don't mind.
I'm Cody.
Who you with?
I'm with Road Trip Paranormal.
Yep. You know,
I'm Roth.
You know Roth, aka Ruby.
Yep, aka Ruby. I've been with Road Trip Paranormal and Everyday Legacy now almost 3 years. So
Behind the big monitor is
Michelle, ELP, RTP. Nope.
And tonight we have a special guest. He's not special, we just have a guest that is here. Go ahead and introduce yourself at the end there. We'll kind of wave to the camera and who tells who you are.
Hey guys, I'm Max. I'm actually with Phantom's Keep, paranormal investigations out of Central Florida, now in Kansas.
Yep. And the reason he's here tonight is we invited him as a special guest, kind of talk about why he got into paranormal, but also to, we'll talk about here in just a few minutes. We had an investigation last night that he was able to come accompany us with as a guest associate with Everyday Legacy Paranormal, Road Trip Paranormal, and also as his own separate entity, which is Phantom's Keep. So, what I want to kind of do first and foremost, sorry I know I'm changing angles on you guys tonight a little bit too fast here, is I want to talk to Max just a little bit, kind of get some ideas as to why he got into the paranormal, what brings him to Kansas, kind of that thing, and just basically give us a little bit of backstory. So go ahead, Max, whenever you're ready, take it away.
They're playing around the rosy.
Oh, we're actually moving.
oh wait, you guys.
No.
You have to do that.
I had that.
Yeah, they're playing musical chairs. Sorry, guys. He's tagged in apparently.
Okay, let me switch back to
One
the right
second.
camera then.
Hang on 1 second. He's coming. You can see behind the scenes what they're doing.
There we are.
They're playing musical chairs.
There we go. Well, first and foremost, I've always had an interest in the paranormal. Some experiences that have happened from an early age, of course, that have just always left me asking why. And I don't like leaving questions unanswered, so
Sure.
I'm always in the pursuit of finding out why, who, what, and things like that. Same with my other team members down in Florida. We kind of share that same goal, just like I think all paranormal research teams do. Just not, is it haunted or is it paranormal, but what's happening and why.
Very cool.
And also the history of it.
Yeah, definitely. So we kind of got in touch with Max. Actually, he got in touch with us. He was happened to be watching one of our live feeds from another investigation, and actually, I think it was the same investigation as he did last night. Same place, anyways. He was just asking us some questions and kind of wanted to know what we do, kind of like how we came about doing what we do, and he asked if he could accompany us to an investigation sometime. I'm like, sure, why not? You know, we take all welcome guests. Sometimes we have to ask permission from the owners or of the business or the home. Usually it's more going to be a private business that will take a guest on versus a home because of the nature of the what's going on. Basically, we don't know sometimes what's going on in the home, and for a house, basically, the owners are, they're petrified. They have questions, and we don't want to just say, hey, we're bringing everybody and anybody under the sun, to this investigation. So we want to make sure that they're comfortable first before we start inviting non-official, personnel. So,
Of course.
I'm going to change subject just for one brief second here. Tonight, there's a couple of ways you can chat live with us in the moment. We have a live chat feed going on the YouTube live page. Once again, that's Cryptic Heartland. If you're watching this, you probably found it by now. Also, we have a phone live. You can call in direct and ask questions. It's going to be, the phone number is 316-807-1166. Once again, that's 316-807-1166. Call in. We'll answer your phone calls live on air with anything you want to talk about. Or if you hear something we're talking about directly, you can ask questions specifically to that. So, we'll go back to you, Max, in just a second here. But Cody, what kind of got you involved with paranormal?
It's kind of the same thing as him, kind of like not leaving the questions unanswered. I've always had family members that have talked about like being haunted or having stories at their house and stuff like that. And I've always kind of wondered why or how, basically. And
Sure.
wanted to get more into it.
And Cody is one of our youngest members of the team. He goes majority of the cases with us when he can. I mean, once again, he's still in school, so school comes first. So, and plus, we want to make sure it's a place that, due to as young as he is, we want to make sure it's safe for him to be there also. So we won't just throw him out to the wolves, basically, even though we throw him out to the wolves for everything else, pretty much.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it's not
do either of you guys have any questions that you want to ask us directly, since I know you guys are kind of newer to the scene with us? I mean, and it doesn't have to be necessarily me. It could be, we have a panel down there you can talk to.
Honestly, I've asked you questions every single day.
Right.
So I think I'm covered.
Okay, hold on.
when did I get moved up from the grad?
The answer is yes.
Hang it.
Kidding, of
You're
course.
older than Leo.
Good luck.
Got it. Don't worry about it. I have some chemicals.
Yep. So.
And now we get investigated by, like,
Yeah.
FBI and stuff like
Those child labor laws are full effect. So, well, we're going to go into what we did last night. It was a special situation that we went into. It was actually pretty fun. I mean, it's the first time I've been out to this location. Members of Road Trip and ELP, other members had gone out there previously a couple of months ago, about 2.5 months ago, and the place was out in Oberlin, Kansas, which is about 4.5 hours away from here. The place we investigated is called the Decatur County Last Indian Raid Museum. It has such a unique and tragic history that we kind of feel like some of the things that are happening there are related to it. The past history, we also think that it's affecting the city as a whole, because the minute they found out we were going out there, the city came pouring in with people showing up, like pretty much a line to the door and out the door with, hey, I have this house, I need this question answered. I mean, they want us for anything and everything, so we're booked solid for here into eternity, basically, which is great. That's what we love. But last night we initially, first of all, we went to do the reveal from the previous investigation, and we were greeted with more people than we could possibly ask for. It was tremendous. There was pretty much people standing around because there were so many seats taken up, and it was pretty neat to watch, which we did broadcast live on Facebook to our pages. So if you did miss any of that reveal, you can go and check it out on any of the Facebook page for Everyday Legacy Paranormal or Road Trip Paranormal.
I also shared it on mine as well.
Oh yeah, and also Max from Phantom's Keep, since he accompanied us with this, it's on his page also too, which is his Phantom's Keep. We'll be careful what we disclose tonight because some of this stuff is still ongoing. But we'll kind of touch base with what we had experienced previously and also last night. So, and that's why if you look at our eyes, we're a little tired. We're running behind a little bit because we're running on fumes. So I mean, it was a fun investigation, well worth it, but it took its toll on us. With that being said, you'll notice one of our members is not here tonight, which is Jason Roberts. He kind of felt ill after coming back, not because of the case itself, just because took a toll on all of our bodies, mentally, physically, emotionally. And it was pretty intense, but it was well worth the event.
And that's why if you looked at our eyes, we're a little tired.
From a dude, we turned down to Michelle. She's ready, kind of go
we're running
over
on
some
fumes,
things last
so
night and before that you want to talk about.
It was a fun investigation, well worth it,
So,
but it took its toll
away.
on us.
Comparing them
With that being said, you'll notice one of our members is not here tonight, which is Jason Roberts. He kind of felt ill after coming back, not because of the case itself, just because it took a toll on all of our bodies, mentally, physically, emotionally. And it was pretty intense, but it was well worth it. And that's why.
Noises, so we investigated to see if we could find where some of those noises might have come from. One in particular was, it was like a metal striking something. I call
Right.
it a clink clang, whatever. And it's hard to come up with names for some of these sounds. Yeah, but we did find this metal rod on a string. It was hanging from the ceiling, and then it came down.
Mhm.
If you picked it up and dropped it, and it hit the wall, it made the sound. But no matter what we did, we could hit the string, we could blow on the string, shutting the door, opening the door, whatever. It never made that same sound. The only way it would make that sound is if you picked it up and let it drop against. I don't know how else. We tried everything. So that was very interesting. They did put in some new displays. One is they have uniforms.
What type of uniforms you talking about?
They were World War I, World War II. I think there was the Vietnam.
Korean War, if I remember right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they were
even
just-
up to Desert Storm and the Iraq War recently. There was
Yeah.
some stuff that kind of stretched the ages, which was pretty impressive.
And what Charlene does is so well. She has the pictures of who the uniform belonged to, which is really fantastic. But in that room, there's just movement that we could see on the cameras. When we were back there, you didn't see it, but if you were looking on the cameras, you just see a movement in one per corner. And some really odd-looking orbs that I'm anxious to look and see on them.
Right.
Other than that, the rest of it was just pretty quiet.
Yeah. One thing we also did, we lit the place up. I mean, you've seen one of the pictures on Road Trip Paranormal's page where we had the place covered in laser grid dots that it seemed to also affect the mood of everything in there. Like one of the individuals we know happens to be lurking around in the actual area. Didn't like it one bit. He made it pretty much known by some of the actions, experiences we had, including, possibly a gust of wind blowing on Max's ear behind him, just let him know, hey, get these grids out. One thing.
I wasn't happy that I was actually in his area.
Right, his special area. So, thing that we were still a little uncertain of, we think we figured it out, but in his special area, he has an area that has a door. When we were there the first time out there a couple months ago, we had a recorder going in there, and this was kind of what Michelle was alluding to with the actual noises in there and the door handle moving. It sounds like tapping in there going on, but it changes. The sound does from time to time, and then also there's a distinct sound, which Michelle kind of talked about, where this door handle is on. It's like on a rope and spoon where it moves to open the light. I think to turn the light on. Is that what it's for?
Yes,
Maybe.
yes.
Which, that's fine. The thing is, though, it's like, why is this thing moving when there's nobody in the room? The last time you guys were there, it was isolated where you guys shut the door, put a recorder in there, and nobody went in there the whole night until the next morning. And there was movement in there, there was voices in there, there was all kinds of interesting things going on. So, well, last night we had that door open and had the laser grid shooting into it, and Max had a little bit of an experience in there where we were off the site, a couple of us were, while they stayed there and did some things. They, all of a sudden they get this, we happened to just drive by at the right time. They're running out and they're like waving their arms and freaking out a little bit, like they got the crap scared out of them, they said. I'm like, well, what's going on? Tell me more. So I go ahead and talk about it, Max, what you experienced. You're the one that had the actual experience, and while Roth and Michelle kind of watched within.
Yeah, they laughed. It was the three of us, Ruth, Michelle, and myself, and we were coming around the corner, and I decided that I was going to try and not exactly provoke, but try to get some sort of interaction with the entity there. So I put myself in his little area,
Right.
and I stepped in. I crossed my arms over my chest, just kind of sitting there waiting, like, let's see what happens. At that time, Growth was coming into view from the door frame. And he's like, Max, are you doing that?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, doing what? And as I was about to say it, the door starts to close. And I feel like a on the back of my neck, and I turned into a ninja real quick. And kind of like scooted around the door without even touching it, past road, all the way out to the parlor. I was like, yep, that was fun. What's next? So.
Yeah, which after doing some more investigative research, they think they debunked it a little bit, but they're not 100% sure because we try to replicate it, and it wouldn't do it on command like it did before. So what they think happened with the door is when he walked in, there's the wind current. It kind of pushed it just enough to where it would finally slowly shut the door on you. But he was able to escape before they actually shut completely.
Again.
But what
Go ahead, Rose.
I thought was funny is, we just recently met Max, so it was kind of funny because when I was standing there watching him, he had his arms crossed like this, and I think he was just in the zone, and just taking the whole thing in. And Michelle and I walked by, and the door starts moving, and I go, surely he sees the door close. I go, Max, the door's closing on you, and he kind of looked down. Yeah, like a ninja, he just moved right out, and he left, and Michelle and I watched the door shut. But later on, Max and I kind of talked about it, and I was like, man, I don't think I've ever seen anybody move that fast. And he goes, what did you say? Something about...
deceptively fast.
Yeah, and what happens to people that stay in the closet when the closet door is shut?
Yeah, I've seen that movie. It doesn't end well. I know how this goes. I'm a smart man.
I've seen someone move that fast before.
Even when he jumped.
Yeah, we can tell a story for days. People that have nimble feet out of nowhere. So,
especially when you're a bigger person.
I wasn't gonna go there, so I would never do it. But we've all had our mishaps along the way. We talked about in the past things that things from me falling into the ceiling to another guys running from the bee drone that wasn't really being. Yeah. So we all have our best moments in the dark, mind you. It happens to each and every. Yeah. Yeah, you were there for that part.
I was the one recording
You're the
it.
filmer on the case. So, but yeah, I think we have a couple things here. So let's make sure like I said, we have a couple live chats going on. So like I said, please feel free to ask any question you want to ask on the live chat screen on the YouTube page. Also, we have the phone number here. Once again, you can be on air if you want to talk to us. You can be foolish like us and hear yourself on air. Phone number is 316-807-1166. So as far as the Indian Museum last night, I mean, the thing that really struck me out from me being the first time there was the immediate, I can't talk, I'm tired. Once again, just lagged from last night, jet lagged, or I don't know what it is, ghost lagged, or...
Ghost lagged.
Thanks, Charlene. I just noticed Charlene saying hi. Hi, Charlene.
Hey, Charlene. So, the thing that struck me out about the museum, the minute we walked in the actual door, things were already happening in broad daylight. You guys heard... Was it a child's voice? You know, my sister Renee is part of the team.
It was actually Growth, Renee,
Oh,
and
Growth was there
myself.
too? Okay.
And he was showing us around because we'd obviously never been there.
Can you kind of tell me where you heard it at?
It was the back of the building where you have one display here, you have that back door, and you have the other one here. It was right there in the middle.
It's right by the war memorial kind of tribute?
Yeah, like where that there was a desk that came out in the back door, and it was right there.
Let me ask you this question. This is just me spitballing and throwing some ideas out there. What if, because there's a child right there, remember on that table there's a bowl of toy soldiers?
Mm-hmm.
Could it be possibly that he was in that area too, maybe? I mean, this is, like I said, me just spitballing.
I think Renee actually brought up that
Did
same
she now?
point.
See, okay, I didn't hear that part.
Yeah, I actually tried picking up one of them last night and just kind of bringing it around with me, placing it, see if anything would interact.
Sure.
But I don't think I don't have any experience.
No, that's
That was
fine.
a kid.
That's fine.
It was
Oh,
two
Renee's-
little kids conversating back and forth.
You can see Renee chatting in here too. So
But at night, I don't think we got any kid. I know I didn't get any kid interaction.
After we did the review, or you guys did the review out there,
Uh-huh.
we didn't have too much interaction with the child that we knew of.
right. Well, one thing that also happened on the first investigation is in the train depot, I believe, there was some thing going on that maybe involved a child.
Yeah.
So we didn't know either
Yeah.
at the time until we heard more of the story when we came back to do the reveal. We found out there was some of the stuff we caught. We caught a female that we didn't know 100%. I didn't know. When I heard the stories after that we gave some of the evidence, there's a dominant female that should be there. She's actually the person that originally started the actual museum. So we heard a female
wow.
voice that wasn't at the time. The only two females that were there. There's three females. I'm sorry. There the first time it was Michelle, your daughter Paula, and also Aaron. And for sure those wasn't any of their voices. As you brought it up, Michelle, you said it sounded almost British in nature.
Yes.
So, which kind of surprised me. I'm like, oh yeah, I can hear that, 100%. So. I don't know.
I did notice over where the uniforms were, and I don't quite remember all the names. There's been a few that actually that passed away, and that was their uniform. And
Yeah.
there was some ladies that were on there. I noticed.
Really? I
Did
didn't
you
see that.
notice any
Yes,
of
there
that?
were.
I mean, I don't know
There
if
was
they were.
like maybe two to
Uh-huh.
three ladies' pictures on there that were in the Navy. I think.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh.
That's
And-
great. I didn't see
So.
that. Now, speaking with Charlene throughout the day, she did tell me that two of the uniforms for sure that they're aware of, they actually, those owners actually passed away in the actual war they fought in. So, thing is, they're not the uniforms they died in. It just happens to be the uniforms they had, their possessions. And she did tell me that one of the people there, they never found the body. So, it's kind of tragic. I mean, very tragic, not kind of. It is tragic. But the thing I love about the museum, Charlene does a fantastic job, like Michelle pointed out. She puts their picture on the front, maybe in the uniform, with the description of who they are, their rank, kind of a little small snippet of their back history, the year they deceased, if they died in the war, what war it was. And on the back, you know, those wars go back clear back to World War I and II and all those in between. She has gone throughout the years and put an obituary if they passed away even in recent years. What she pointed out to me, one of them had just passed away, and it was in March of this year. So I want to pay tribute to those guys. Thank you for your service to all the servicemen out there. I mean, if you guys need anything if you ever want to have your, I don't want to say mind blown, but if you want to see an amazing tribute to such, especially Memorial Day weekend coming up, and that's when the actual museum opens for business. Go out there, stop out there at an Oberlin, Kansas. They have an amazing display of more memorabilia that as soon as I saw that, I was there the whole time just eyeballing it, looking at it, and just dumbfounded how amazing it is. So she does a great job with that. And that's not the only thing she has in there. She has things from the actual Indian raid in display cases that I couldn't believe were there. I mean, they look pristine. They did such a fantastic job displaying these. Things from bow and arrows to arrowheads to Indian drums and just all kinds of.
The cool thing about all those arrowheads,
Yeah.
is they weren't only from that area. They also did I guess lineage of different areas. There was some from Rhode Island.
Oh, I didn't see that. I missed that part.
Yeah, there was actually on the wall.
Man.
Really just an extensive collection.
I mean, it was hard for me to take it all in because there was so much items there that I'm looking up. Look over here, like a kid in a candy store. What's that? What's this? I mean, everywhere, every corner, wall, on the floor, displayed. Something that was unique that was just pretty impressive.
One thing that really impressed me was, when we were getting ready to leave and we were packing up that morning.
Mm-hmm.
Jason, who's not with us tonight, he's our big history buff. And
Hey, one of them.
one of them. sorry. We were talking about the museum, and the Indian raid and all that stuff. And Max, what I thought was amazing, just pointed over, to the Indian. I think his name was, what was it?
Dull knife.
Dull Knife,
right. Mm-hmm.
And Dull Knife was actually the one. I'll go ahead and let you.
He was the chief, the leader. of the actual tribe that started the massacre.
Right.
He, in layman's terms, got fed up and mad and said, "Okay, this is what we're doing. We're gonna go do it." And
So it was
so on and so
it's
forth.
it's an amazing museum. You really should go out there and see it. And the hospitality from the rest of the business owners there are amazing.
Yes, absolutely.
It really, it was more of a time I found myself kind of somber, where I was just like, quietly viewing every little piece of artifact. Because I mean, this stuff stretches clear back to, I don't know when the raid actually happened myself. There's probably, do you happen to know any of you guys within 18?
I bet Charlene could tell us.
Yeah, I know Charlene definitely knows. She's a walking encyclopedia, especially around that history. If you want to know anything about that area, she'll tell you. She's fantastic, let me tell you. But like I said, just seeing that stuff, I mean, I get swept into it because, like you said, Jason's a big history buff. I'm a huge history buff myself, and I'm looking at stuff that it's been here for longer than I've been alive. And it's just pretty impressive. And I did make note of one individual on the wall where his name was James, I think Smith, I want to say, where he was killed actually in the raid. He was a settler, I think, in that area. And it didn't tell you how. I didn't read how he died particularly, but I know he did pass away in the raid, and he was killed by one of the Indians. And it's just a reminder of where we've come from and where we are today. And it's kind of why, like I said, I got into paranormal, because I love history. And if I'm talking to somebody from the past, that's just amazing to me. It's mind blowing that I'm communicating with somebody who could have been here 5 minutes ago to 100 years ago, basically.
it was 1878, September 30th.
Oh, there you go. So thank you very much. Trying to think what else. It seemed like the whole night there was a lot of movement, a lot of voices. Like I said, the minute we got there, I happened to go back to the same area because I heard you guys had seen a child, or heard the child, whatever you experienced, you actually heard him, excuse me. I walked back to the same area by myself, and somebody was with me. I think it was Jason or somebody was behind me, and I turned the corner and stopped because I see a shadow run. I'm like, whoa, who was that? And then I happened to look, and as I turned the corner to go find where the shadow went, I look down and I see an actual, it's kind of dark in there at the time without the lights on, all 100%. But there was enough of a ambient light on the floor that I could see, light there. I could see the shadows run across that too and dissipate behind that big rack of uniforms.
Yeah.
So I ran up behind there and looked for it, and I could never find anything.
And that was in the beginning.
That's before we were just looking at the museum before we even did the reveal or setup of anything. So.
I think you're going to find more on there was just things moving around
Oh yeah, definitely.
all night. It's just look, you see it, you see.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, and the buildings, that was just one building. To my understanding, there's 15 buildings all said and done. So we're going to eventually go back out there and hit all 15 buildings. And with that being said, we're in the works with the museum itself. I'm going to go ahead and throw the date out there. September 9th, we're going to be doing a public investigation out there where the public gets to come out there and investigate with Everyday Legacy Paranormal, Road Trip Paranormal, and it should be a fun time. So there will be more details coming up here in the upcoming weeks and months of how to get involved with that. It's going to be a big to-do, and I highly recommend everybody that can come out and join us, because everybody asks, how can I be a part of this? Well, now's your chance. You can come out and join us. So while they were at the actual museum, we were off-site about a block and a half away. I think it was maybe 2 blocks away from the museum. We were at a private investigation, half the team was, and we got to work with a family that they interviewed during the first actual investigation. I won't go too much into the behind-the-scene details, but the family needed our help, and they were just amazing people, like everybody in that town has been that we've met. It was an incredible story. We're going to work closely with them also too, and that's just 2 of the cases we have. Like I said, before we went back out there, we had 7 or 8 already lined up, and we got back out there, and about 5 or 6 more popped up while we were there. So like I said, every time we go out there, they hear we're coming, they want to talk to us, and we're definitely here to help everybody and anybody. And not necessarily just there, I'm talking about everywhere. I mean, if you have a need for anything, please get a hold of myself or any of the team here. Go to our websites, private message me, whatever. We're here to help you. We're 100% free service. We want to make sure, we find out answers for you guys. So, any questions from you guys, or you want to throw out to the people out there, or
Yeah,
to each other?
I think I'll talk a little bit about something.
Please do.
While our other team members were at another location,
Oh yeah.
we were really working really hard trying, anything we could possibly to get them to interact with us.
Right.
And I think it was when you got there, we had actually,
Oh, yeah.
we tried this before you got there, but Leo always seems to roll the dice and anyways, we get there, and I was telling Leo some of the stuff that we'd been doing earlier that night.
Right.
And I think Michelle had brought some motion detectors.
Right.
And so Leo, in the beginning of the show, we had talked about when you were walking around prior to the reveal that you had seen that shadow.
Right.
So what we did is, right before Leo came back on site, we actually put some motion detectors down on the ground.
Right.
And I think your video camera was
Right on top
watching
of
that
the
as well.
basement.
And so when we got there, Leo got on his phone, and was it D-Day?
That was one of
Was
them.
it?
You guys played D-Day. I came up with something different later on, but go ahead.
Yeah, it was basically like sirens from back,
Yeah.
on D-Day when,
Oh, wow.
what was hitting the fan, and
Yeah.
it was amazing. And I had one going on my phone with machine guns going,
Yeah.
bombs, helicopters, and we just really turned the volume up on that. And I think within less than a minute that you had turned yours on, and you
Right.
started going like,
I was simulating the war basically. I turned on a German air horn they played blast when they were attacking. I also put on a German. They have a special plane. I can't remember the name of the plane. Sorry about that. I usually know this. Like I'm half asleep. Sleepwalking through life right now. Germans, psychological warfare. They had their planes when they would attack. They put these big horns on the front of their planes, so when the wind caught it, it would basically kick up this ominous sound to everybody. So
it went right through me.
It would freak people out.
Yeah. It was pretty
So I was
intense.
playing that, but when this was all going on, we had the guns, the airplanes diving, going on, the sound. I'm yelling, things like, "We're under attack," but I'm covering my mouth so it's like one of those horns, like a megaphone or something. I'm yelling, "Report to your, all men report to your post," all hands on deck kind of a thing, and just crazy things. And once we did that, it seems like instantly the motion sensor lit up. I mean, it was incredible to see.
Yeah, it was pretty intense.
I just couldn't believe it myself.
Yeah, you got the sirens going on, the guns
Right.
going, and then it was awesome.
It was a sight to see, and then it kept happening at different times. Just different triggers. We would say it would seem like it would trigger it to where it pop it up. Then all of a sudden they would, light up like crazy. Just like, hey, I'm here to help. Kind of a thing. We're here to fight. Let's go to battle. And it was. I was surprised, and pleasantly surprised, but also just mesmerized by the whole thing that I didn't want to leave the area. And this is into the morning, early hours.
Mine, we got the laser grids going. It was,
That was just awesome.
It was
Which-
awesome.
Just everywhere. So glad.
One thing I want to throw out, kind of on a side note, speaking of laser grids, we had those lights everywhere. We took one with us to the private investigation, and as soon as we sat down and started asking questions, things just went boom, like a light switch. Everything went crazy in the house. We heard all kinds of bangs everywhere, footsteps. The laser grid we had, it's plugged in, so it's not going to lose power. It shouldn't lose power.
Well,
Hold on.
Theoretically.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
Oh, and
Hold on.
after you go there,
Yeah.
I was on my, we're on our way back to Wichita with Max, and
Yeah.
Max reminded me of something within maybe 4 minutes prior to you getting there, and it might make a little bit of sense.
Oh, okay. Well, at the house we had the laser grid going, and it covers it's not your typical pin drop laser pointers. It's the one that it shoots a whole beads everywhere. It covers a whole room basically, and then some. I mean, we can shoot down the hallways. We lit this place up. If you go to the Road Trip Paranormal website or the Facebook page, you'll see a picture of what I'm talking about. The whole floor, top to bottom, side to side, is covered in laser grid. With this laser grid, though, at the house, as soon as we're asking these questions, this thing all of a sudden out of nowhere starts getting dimmer. Like it's losing. We're like, what's going on? Is this thing dying? Is it burning out? What's going on? It starts to fade a little bit, and then it starts pulsating. Like, and nobody's touching it. It's just 3 of us in the house. Nobody else is in the house. At one point, it was some of the nature of the questions we were asking. I feel like it was sending a warning to us a little bit, because it was in their kitchen and the hallway just pounding on things, you know, and like getting pretty irritated with the 3 of us, and it started to let itself be known by, you know, it touched some of us on, you know, like Jason felt like he got poked in the back of the head. I felt on my head, my hair, things just kind of brushing by. Renee got startled like nobody's business and scared the crap out of me and Jason because something grabbed her on her leg, which I'm going to go ahead and say it. She has today huge bruises on her hands or her legs where you can see fingers grabbed her. And it was one of the claims. It's one of the claims that happened in the house. She has a bruise on her elbow. She has some scratches on her. So we were sitting down on the couch at the time, so nothing should have happened other than the fact that this thing let itself be known. So we were all, at the moment when she shrieked, we're like, I mean, I about jumped 10 feet off the couch because it scared Jason and I when it happened. So, yeah, laser grids are a great tool. I mean, that's just one of the things we use. We use video cameras, we use everything we could possibly think of. And whatever it was, did not like the laser grids at the museum and like the laser grids at the house. And
we've run into that before.
Yeah. Out at a special location of the business, we used it before, where as soon as we turned this thing on, the mood changed. It gets heavy, it's darker, it's just like, how dare you? Yeah, and Jeremiah was there for that part of it. And
Renee says they're still there.
What's still there? Oh, the bruises. I'm like, laser grids? We forgot the laser grids? No.
That's more important.
Who cares about the bruises? So, just joking, Renee. Yeah. It's called brotherly love. So,
Pictures?
yeah. I'll just show you later on. So, it's like, the laser grids did phenomenal last night, which, at the museum, when we were wrapping up, and you can go in your story here in just a minute about that. It was getting really late. It was about 3 o'clock in the morning. We're getting tired, you know, and basically I was like, okay, guys, let's wrap it up. Let's turn everything off. I turned the music off. I turned the air raids, the sirens off, all that stuff off. And as soon as I said that, the laser grid immediately just went off by itself. And I thought Michelle had walked in prior to that, and I thought she had bumped into it. I looked over behind I could see where she was standing. I was looking down. As soon as I'd seen her, she was looking down like, did I step on a cord? Did I do something crazy? She wasn't close to it.
Yeah.
So we walk up over there and start noticing the power's off. So we're like, what the hell? Who turned the power off? Nobody's touching it.
Wow.
So Jason touches the power button, and it comes back on. So we thought, at first I was like, oh crap, this burned out, you know, and it's not. Some of them were yours, some of them were Rose. I'm like, oh man. I'm about to buy somebody a new laser grid. But the power was off, so Jason pushes it back. First he touches it, he's like, oh, it's not even hot. I thought it'd be burned out, you know. I'm like, well, what's going on? He touches the power button, comes back on like nothing. The setting we had it on, you have to push like 4 or 5 settings to get to the setting we were on. So whatever it was had enough gusto, power behind it to turn our laser grid off because I said, hey, let's go home, guys. And, okay, get out of here, push it off.
Wow.
So I mean, we had all kinds of fun and adventures last night with these laser grids. Just some of the stuff we experienced. So, you guys had something you were gonna say that?
Yeah, I'll probably let and Max can explain too. Basically, when I had right prior to you guys coming back, because as soon as you showed back up, you and Jason immediately went to the back room. You know, where the military uniforms are.
Right.
Where we're talking about that grid that just got shut down.
Right.
Right before that, Max and I were in the back, and it's getting late. We're trying to wrap stuff up, trying to see what we can get at the end of the night. Max told me that's in the truck, because I actually told him, I said, hey, one of your grids shut down.
Right.
Like went off, and he was like, what? And I said, yeah, it just shut off. And he goes, well, what did I say right before we left? And I was like, That's right. Max actually told him, you know, hey, look, it's getting late. If you don't like these laser grids, we'll leave. Just shut that thing off. All
Oh,
you got
wow.
to do, I remember him now. He said, all you got to do is hit that button on the top. It'll shut off and we'll go home.
And that's before we
Well,
got. That's before
that's
we got there,
right
right?
before you got there because
Right.
we heard you come
Within
in.
minutes.
Wow.
We heard you come in, so we went to the front door, you know,
Right.
and then that's when you asked us how it was going, and then you said, hey, let's go back and play some music. you
Wow.
know? And I forgot about that, but he did tell it,
So,
if you're done.
It was actually, I was sitting next to Michelle too. We were at the table. Where I said, just shut it off, do it.
Wow.
But before that, it actually stems further back than that. When Ruth and I were setting up one of the actual grids, we had to tape it to a tripod.
Sure.
Right. Because it had no stand on it.
Yeah.
And
They're cheaper that way.
and
Okay.
we were setting it up, and we plugged it in to make sure it worked. And the green was so light, it wasn't going past like just a couple inches.
Really?
Like, you put my hand up there, you could see it, remove it, can't see it anywhere. And I'm like,
Okay.
oh man, no, we need this. Like, we want
Right.
all of it. So we ended up turning on the red setting, and the red was fine.
Really?
And I'm like, forget it, just use red.
Yeah.
They could be colorblind, we don't know. Let's just go.
Right.
And Roth agreed, so we went back out to get tape, the extension cord, and the tripod. We came back, taped it, and it was working fine. The green was fine.
Really?
And we're like, oh, okay, and just went about business, and then so on and so forth, blah, blah, blah.
Well, the thing is about you. It's funny you say that because the thing is, first investigation out there, you guys had trouble setting up the DVR, like it wouldn't kick the cameras on, right? And equipment wasn't running right. We had multiple digital audio recorders going, where like 3 or 4 of them in one kind of area got shut off, and we're thinking, oh great, those are brand new batteries. Maybe they lost the battery already. Well, they went home and turned it back on, and the batteries were full. So I mean, it's like they didn't lose power; it got turned off by something. Which once we found out some things yesterday, the owner had told us, well, the person that runs it told us that he did not like us. This guy didn't like us there. Didn't like us coming in. He didn't like our cameras, our lights, our flashlights, our recording, everything. So if that's the case, something's playing with our stuff. And at least with the laser grid, they waited to the very end to turn it off on command after you had mentioned it earlier. At least they waited.
Our walkie-talkies,
Oh yeah. Well, I'll let you guys talk about that. So go ahead and talk about the walkie-talkies.
we all three had them.
Right.
Mine was brand new.
Right.
And we had them all going, everything was fine. And then you called, and one would work, one, I mean, it was
It was
just,
like in procession.
mine would, I could hear you, none of the others could hear you.
Mm-hmm.
I'd go call out, I couldn't get out, they could, I mean, it was just, they were just changing. And none of them all worked fine at the same time.
There's actually one of the times where you guys were about to come back, or something like that, and it literally just in you saying a couple words or sentences, it went through all three. Like his would be like, "Hey guys," hers would be like, "What's up?" and then mine would be like,
Ending.
"Yeah, whatever."
It
And we
was
were like,
real weird.
"Can you
hear
repeat
you
that?"
start over here and finish over here. It was-
We just,
We had
That's
other
crazy.
electrical issues as well. My camera shutting off randomly. As I guess I was walking up and it just shut down completely. What she was recording, so it shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, it didn't make any kind of sense.
A lot of energy there.
Yeah, I mean,
I think it was really drawing off everything that we had.
well, that's the thing about when we go into locations, we try to light the place up with all kinds of electrical stuff. We make it known that, hey, if you're having trouble manifesting or coming through on the recordings or a video camera, you got all this equipment right here. You got our energy. You can use any of this energy to manifest, and it seems like it does help a lot. And the place last night we had it. I mean,
It was hot.
it looked like Fort Knox to how much laser stuff we had going on. I mean, you couldn't get through without
No.
running through some kind of laser grid beam. So
a spider could have moved. It.
I mean,
Just spider.
the picture is amazing that was captured on Road Trips Facebook. It tells the story. It's
I
just
hope
like,
people
wow.
can go look at it.
Yeah, because it's pretty impressive. And we on the ELP one, I have it which is Everyday Legacy Paranormal. I have the one we did at a different location previously when we were testing them out, where I'm walking through it and I'm lit up. You can see my headlamp all crazy lit up, and it's just,
That was awesome.
it's fun. They're fun little toys that we've kind of
You know how we got started on that?
What's that?
Is actually the first time I got to go out with you guys
Right.
to that one location. And
Mhm.
I was like, so what do you guys think about those Christmas lights? I was
Right.
actually standing right next to Road. And he's like, the Christmas lights? I was like, they're lasers.
Yeah.
They project. He's like, where can I get those?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
You
that's
told
kinda
me.
what started
Yeah.
the
You told me
involvement.
too. We
Yeah.
were chatting one day, like, so you ever thought about using Christmas lights? I'm like, gosh, yeah. Why not?
Right.
Those are perfect. You know, why wouldn't we use those?
And then he goes out and buys like 20,000.
Yeah.
Being spending $100 on a little pen.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
guys,
exactly.
Batteries every
That use the
45
batteries
minutes.
quick.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, we've had some huge success with the new grids that we're using. I mean, just from, like I said, lighting the room up to, you know, basically getting all that energy built up to that they can come out and talk to us, and or turn them off because they don't like them. So it's a fantastic little toy. So we came across, and I want to thank Max for giving us credit for that. You know, for introducing us to those, because yeah, those are phenomenal.
It's definitely worth it.
Yeah, we're definitely growing our arsenal. We use everything that, the common household things people would probably never think of, and, we use them on location, and we've had success with all of them so far, so different things. But, yeah, like I said, the place, the museum is incredible itself, just without ghost hunting, but when we went there last night and the previous time, it was pretty impressive. I mean, I'm looking forward to future visits. I'm looking forward to the public investigation on September 9th. It's going to be a grand time, a great old time. So
We've got a few followers on here, man. Feel free to give us a call.
Yeah.
Once again, you can call us direct at 316-807-1166. Would love to answer anybody's questions.
yeah,
Especially if there's anybody on here from Oberlin that
Yeah.
has questions about their house or anything else that might be going on.
Right.
Please call us. I mean, we're here till 9 o'clock?
yeah, we have about another 55 minutes, so I mean, you got plenty of time to talk to us, and we'll answer any questions that you may have. It doesn't have to be about paranormal; it could be about anything. We cover everything from conspiracy theories to you name it. We're here to talk to everybody. So,
Our drive home.
Yep.
We went on about just
Oh, I know.
topic
Yeah.
A, B, C, D.
Then Michelle can vouch for us. Jason and I we get together and we just talk like little schoolgirls over and over about anything and everything. And
That's
from
not just you
movies
two, that's
to-
all of us.
Yeah, oh yeah, you've been with us. You know what it's like. It's like, are you guys ever gonna shut up?
Can you throw our number out there?
He did.
I did.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
Pay
I can't
attention,
read that
Ruby,
far,
come
sorry.
on.
Ruby can't read.
Come on, get with it now.
Well, listen, that first hour was just kind of go over like the investigation stuff we did last night, and over the upcoming months we'll go in more detail as we find out more stuff that went on and kind of go through that stuff. So
If we turn up, and not just with this investigation, but
Right.
anytime there's clips of evidence
Yeah.
that it's okay for us to let the public hear,
Yeah.
we can debut them on here. So
how quick do you have to get them on there?
Huh?
How quick do you need to get them on there? Like
I just need to be able to put them on my laptop.
like right now.
I can do that right now.
Wow, you got something.
Well, I wanted
smashed.
to show if you could show the picture of the laser grid I was talking about. That's too
I
much
can
trouble.
do that. I can do it. Give me just a
Yeah, take
second.
your
I
time.
can do
We can
that.
talk about other stuff while.
I actually want to go back to the
Yeah, anything you want to throw out, please.
military uniform.
Please.
It seemed like that was probably one of our most active locations.
You know why though? Possibly, it's brand new.
She
just
was
set
talking
it up.
about the
Yeah, she just said.
remodeling.
Go ahead.
You said that you saw a shadow in that corner.
I did.
Renee actually, one of the first things that we experienced there during the day was she heard a noise in that corner.
I heard a noise too later on in the evening when you say that. Something banged on the glass right
And
there.
that's why I put my recorder there.
Yeah, but go ahead, sorry. And I tagged it, see, your recorder is right by your recorder, matter of fact. Because you were on the right side on that day, on
Yeah.
that clear glass display case, and mine was in the opposite end, of course, go
Oh.
figure.
That makes sense.
Which, speaking of recorders, we had the privilege of all the bangs and taps before there was heard the first time. Something, like I said, doesn't like us there, and it made itself known. It banged on our recorder, and that was part of the evidence we gave to them that, yeah, all the taps and noises we figured out, we know what they are possibly, or, they're unique to the place, but then all of a sudden a distinct sound was made on the recorder where it just went there and flicked it or hit it, whatever, and
You
Yeah.
know, I was kind of thinking.
Which page was that on? Was that,
road trip.
it was on, oh, it was on Road Trip,
Yeah.
okay.
Oh, we got a phone call here. Hey guys, go ahead and answer that. Hey, you're on live with Cryptic Heartland podcast with This is Leo with Everyday Legacy Paranormal, and we got the whole panel with Road Trip Paranormal and Phantom's Keep. Who am I talking to? Yes. Can you hear us? No, this is Leo. You need Roth?
Yeah.
Okay, hang on one second. Yeah, we're doing a live podcast here. Roth will talk to you about it. May not be a direct caller, maybe a personal phone call, but hey, it's a phone call.
But anyway.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, are you
First
trying to get a hold
first
of
time
Tom?
we were there, I mean, the noises were just
Yeah.
non-stop,
Yeah, Connie's
loud.
The
And,
whole
I'm
time.
downtown right now.
last night, there wasn't, I keep thinking.
Do what?
Do you suppose that maybe he thought,
Oh,
hey, these guys
Road
like
Trip Paranormal.
all those sounds, they were excited when
Got
they
it.
heard all the bang.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this time I'm going to be
Yeah.
quiet, not say anything.
Hey, yeah.
I'll show you.
I'm not
could
going to
very
give
well
them what
be.
they
Okay.
want.
Yeah, it could very well be. I mean, it's hard to say. Like I said, there's things that didn't want to be heard, didn't want to talk to us. You know, it made itself known by turning our equipment off, you know, manipulating stuff, touching us, you name it. It was there, so.
There's just a lot in that one area, like
It was
the
a
things that you've seen that we need to go over or whatever. There's actually one time I was standing back there with Roth, and we did a temperature reading. We had the equipment set up and everything, and it was reading I think it was like 58 point something. And I broke out in just dripping sweat.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. Yeah, it was cold in there, mind you.
Yeah, so I walked back out and I'm like, okay, listen, and I know I'm heavy, but just, I'm sweating for no reason.
Right.
And Roth and Michelle both, touched my head.
Right.
They're like, well, what was going on? So I don't even know. I'm just sweating profusely for no reason.
Aside from the 10,000 volts of laser grid going on, but I don't think that's what it was.
I think I have a tan.
You walk in this particular area he's talking about, and it was like an ice box. I mean, it was freezing. Even though it was cold, I stayed back there as long as I could because it was fun to be back in this area because it was so
Awesome,
active. Yeah. Watching the feed. Sorry, as you both get up. That's his better side, mind you. So.
Feed's frozen.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yep.
Also, the grid pic on Facebook, that's on Everyday Legacy's page, right?
It's on road trip.
and
He's getting it loaded up here shortly.
No, the grid.
Oh, the one from the first time?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's on the
okay,
Everyday Legacy
it's
Paranormal.
up.
So
It may not show on your monitor yet, but it's up.
Yeah.
It's going.
that might be the reason we look like we're frozen to us because he's uploading something.
Jeremiah just wanted to click things.
Yep. So you'll see here in just a brief second. Jeremiah has uploaded the picture of the laser grid from last night. When I say it was Fort Knox, you'll see what I'm talking about. It's crazy. I mean, it's pretty impressive the coverage these things get. And like I said, it manipulated all of it. It was moving things. It moved it in the separate investigation in the house. At one point, Jason thought the thing was rotating. He's like, "Is that moving?" And it's just rotating on him. And these things are solid base. They're
They're
plastic. They don't move. They're put on a base for a reason to stay, steady. And this thing was moving on him.
Wow.
Yeah, and like I said, with the pulsating and then the shutting off of the different locations, it was pretty impressive. Yeah, I get some word. Oh, there we go. There we go. Here comes the slowly but surely. I heard you guys can hear us. You can't see us. It's frozen, but the picture's starting to get uploaded here.
We had 5 of them in that location.
Right. Yeah, you'll see it.
Oh, yeah,
It's
they're
pretty
pretty.
cool. There it is.
It's crazy.
That's the laser you're
Don't
talking
walk
about.
towards them because you can't
Yeah,
see
you
anything.
get blinded by them. So,
Yeah,
How
that
many
was pretty
times?
intense. It was
Oh,
like,
so
don't move
Yeah.
your head.
like I said, from head to toe, ceiling to ceiling, or whatever, side to side. And this is just a small little area. You can see it. The place we were shooting this at was a huge, long hallway. I mean, we had it on the hallways. We had it on. You can probably see better on that one actually. That's pretty cool with an HD. Yeah, those are probably some of the artifacts in the museum
There's a lot
itself.
of mannequins in there.
Yeah, there's.
Yeah, I was gonna say
yeah.
it looks like.
So you can see how awesome this is and just how amazing it picks up everything. So anything that walks in there that's not us, because when we walk through there, you can see us. We give a 3D dimension. When they walk through there, it's going to be, breaking beams, basically. It's a little different feel to it. We have seen this in different locations where the laser grids have worked, and it's a dark shadow, and it breaks it, and you can tell. Now us, like I said, we're 3D dimension, you know, where it's where you can, it's like a wave coming at you basically when we walk through it. So they're handy tools. We use them, and last night they worked tremendous because Renee, okay, jokes person, she's telling jokes.
Listen here, Martha.
Yeah. So, like I said, we're always looking for new ways to up the ante, basically, as far as investigating and researching things. So this is one of our new arsenal we just acquired.
Are we ready to go back to cam feed?
Yeah, anytime. So, like I said, if you want to continue looking at that feed or that picture, go to the websites and you'll see it there. It's pretty cool. Just a second here, he's working that way. So, anything else you guys want to talk about last night you can think of, or anything? And Cody, want to get you in here and talk some stuff. You've been kind of sitting there idly.
I was gonna say, it's not necessarily about like ghost hunting or any of that, but
sure, ask me anything you want.
It's more Bigfoot. So since Brendan probably knows more about it, but from what I've heard, apparently Bigfoot or Sasquatch is like a portal jumper. I don't know how you guys feel about that, or
What?
Portal
jumping.
Not a puddle. Portal.
Between,
He does puddles too.
Yeah, like realms or something.
I've read that actually.
Yeah, I definitely would like to get Brendan in here to answer that. He's not here tonight. He'll be here at some point.
I guarantee you, Brendan will argue against that theory. But there are two main trains of thought.
Right.
That it is actually an undiscovered species of North American great ape, or it's an interdimensional entity that can kind of come and go, and there's any kind of intermix in between.
Right.
I mean, there's as many theories about it as there are.
Yeah.
You know,
I've looked at both angles myself personally. I still don't know what I believe yet because I've seen remnants of both, I guess, but nothing making me lean one way or the other like Brendan does. Brendan's pretty adamant about it being not of the portal sense like you were talking about. That is more of the, you know, a hairy beast walking around an ape kind of light creature. So I'll let Brendan come in one of these days. We'll talk about that, and make sure you're here that night so you can kind of pose the question again. But the thing is, and I might be giving out too much information. There's actual evidence that's been collected that there's, you know, hair samples that they've taken them to DNA places, and basically it's come up with nothing like, you know, it's a horse or a cow or whatever animal they're trying to cross-reference it against. The closest they can come to is man-made or you know, a humanoid, basically, kind of a hair. Yeah, but it's not human. They said that they can't tell what it is, but it's closest to human. So if that's the case, you would think they wouldn't give off if it's spirit or would you say portal? Yeah, it wouldn't give off that type of, you know, leftover remnants. Because I mean, most of the time it dissipates when it is in that sense. If it's, you know, a ghost or something of that nature. So, but on the reverse token though, why can a ghost physically move things and touch us? So I mean, there's a lot of unanswered questions, and that's what keeps us hungry and going because we want to answer those questions too. So
also another thing, for ghosts,
you get one question.
You want
to get one? No, go ahead, Cody. Go ahead.
So for ghosts, do you think there's like a realm between, if you believe in like a heaven and a hell, do you think they're either stuck between heaven and hell, like they're limbo, kind of like either they're being decided or
that's gonna pose a huge topic, a huge question, which I'm all for. I love this talk, and I wish Jason was here.
How long do you want to go tonight?
Because Jason is a huge. He would go on for hours and days, and you know, and we have talks about this all the time. It's honestly, I'm not going to tell you it's one way or another because nobody can tell you that. It's not scientifically proven it is or isn't. It's also a personal choice, belief. I mean, if you're a religious person, you're always going to think one way. Yeah. I'm not going to come in here and say, you know what, you're wrong. It's this way, actually. And they're like, you know, who the heck are you to tell me? Yeah. And it's the same token. And people that don't believe that stuff may think, okay, yeah, maybe there's this instead of, you know, one thing. That's what exactly is a ghost? I mean, you got to pose that question.
physical.
Is it a carbon copy stamp of something in history? Maybe. Is it a ball of energy, which we have caught on camera, energy moving in a recent location where it physically manifested itself as a little lightning rod kind of looking thing, and it moved. And I'm not the biggest person on orbs. I mean, there's some I've seen that I'm like, okay, I can't debunk this, I can't explain this.
Wait, I like Max's Facebook post today.
I didn't see that. Let's go back and check.
About, hey, could you have a second? Let me ask you about my orb photo.
Oh my god. Which we do get in this field, we get a ton of questions. Which I'm okay. Hey, we're here to help you figure out what's going on. Bring in all the orb pictures you want, all the noises you want, the voices, the recordings, you name it. We're here to help you, so I'm okay with it. But we do get the majority of the question when somebody's talking to me, hey, I have this picture with orbs, and it's just like, oh, okay. You're talking to the wrong person because I don't believe in orbs that much, but I have. Like I said, I can't refute the ones we caught recently where it's so much as one coming in the room, doing a weird movement, and then zigzagging out. Oh, that must be an insect, right? Well, insects show up a certain way on camera. They are bright white, fluttering objects, and these are more like lightning rods. They're kind of like sashaying in a way that doesn't fit that mold, and all of a sudden moving your way. So the one that we caught recently was the one, the sachet type, where it kind of came in the frame, and we caught an actual voice accompanying with it. So, to me, that's gives a little bit more credibility in my book. I'm not saying that's what it was, but I mean, why not? I mean, so once again, going on the topic of the spiritual type, I mean, it depends what you personally believe. Like I said, at one point when you pass away, does the energy soul come, escape the body, or whatever? You can pose up. You're gonna get a million people, right wing, left wing, whatever, this way, that way, gonna dispute us on that. But go ahead, you have a question?
I actually have a question for Michelle.
Yeah.
Because talking last night during the investigation, all about how feeling a certain way about a certain subject. When it comes to something like orbs, how do you feel on that, and does anything that you experienced last night or on any other investigation, has it ever changed for you? Like, you go, no, and then go, okay, maybe.
It's, there are some orbs that I don't think are dust. I experienced one last night. It was in, again, the uniform.
Right.
It was a perfect round white, but it blinked, and it went across the floor, blink, blink, blink.
Oh yeah.
Blink.
So it wasn't your typical, hey, it's an orb, me moving. It was kind of
It was just
a pulsating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you described it as Pac-Man.
I said
yeah,
like
it looked like
Pac-Man.
Pac-Man. It looked like Pac-Man going across there.
Interesting.
So, yeah, I think a majority of them are probably dust, but I
Yeah.
do believe there are other, what they are, I don't know. Maybe they're
Right.
balls of energy, I don't know. But, yes,
Right.
there are definitely more than just dust.
Right, and we had one on a location that we were shown an orb picture that, when I saw it, I didn't notice it, and they pointed out to me what looked like 3 long fingers going through it. And that was one of the claims, is the handprints on the body, that they would get touched by something with long fingers that were leaving marks and stuff like that. And here in this picture is an orb, and they showed it to me again recently, and sure enough, it looks like 3 fingers going through this orb on or above the person that's infected the most. So, once again, I'm becoming a changer of, orbs and stuff like that, which, speaking of, kind of relates to it. I was one that used to be against cemeteries being haunted, morgues being haunted, because those are final resting places. Those aren't where they died. That's just something they're there now. I mean, it's just a place for them to rest, right? So, until we went to, I always refer to this, and you're going to hear me refer to this case probably to the day I die, the Tahlequah, Oklahoma case with the book, The Agony That Remains. We went to the cemetery, and the first time, couple times we went, only a few of us got to go, Jeremiah being one of them, I myself being the other one. Unfortunately, Rose, Michelle, and the rest of the team did not get to go. So, we went there. That's the place that had my name called, and a place I'd never been to up to this point in my lifetime. Never stepped foot in Oklahoma, in this area, eastern Oklahoma. Never been to the cemetery, and all of a sudden something's calling my name. Something's answering us, screaming at us, you name it. It was all happening. So that day changed my mind forever. I saw the red lights. If you go to the YouTube pages, you'll see them on there. Okay, so that being said, we took the team back another time, and they got to experience everything and then some. I mean, everybody had their own experience in this cemetery, and I think it left a very lasting impression on everybody that was involved with the case, because they all came away with something. We all saw these red dots, red lights, green dots, green lights, and what's going on? We have a commercial? Okay. So this is the infamous Ford.
It's absolutely true, though. My favorite ones are in the attic, and you can see the dust on the box.
Right.
And you can see, like, someone went like this and then snapped a picture. Yeah, those are definitely orbs. She was probably called Ripley's.
Right. But like I said, we all walked away with something out of this cemetery, that's kind of left us, stamped, like I said, an imprint in our lives that to this day, we still talk about it, ask questions, and I was talking about the dots, the red dots, the green dots, whatever we saw, that weren't lightning bugs, they weren't possums, they weren't this, the people try to tell us that they
weren't
weren't.
lights shining through the trees,
Yeah.
they weren't airplanes.
They weren't laser grids,
Nope.
because that's how we didn't have those.
You're not
Right.
walking around with
Yeah.
those.
But the fact is, we saw them. I would, like, for instance, I will throw myself out there. I'll go, hey, I see red dots, and I say it's over there, and people are like, I see them too. It's over here. They're pointing different directions.
Mhm.
They're seeing these dots.
It's over.
Yeah. So, and
We
everybody
remember that
saw 'em.
first night that we were down there. I want to say it was like an hour maybe after we heard that female voice by the old house.
Right.
And we were back behind the old house. It was you and me
Yes.
and Jason maybe.
Yep. Mhm.
And there was that huge yellow light off up in the trees. We never did figure out what that was.
That's what I was talking about last couple of weeks ago, where I thought it was the we call it glow sticks they put up in the
Yeah,
sign.
yeah.
Where I go, oh, the glow sticks are up, and I kept on walking.
And from the angle
Yeah.
I was standing, I thought it was a security light at first.
Oh,
but
yeah.
no, it wasn't. No.
Yeah. So that's where, once again, the energy talk comes into play, where it's like, is this thing giving off, some kind of light?
Right.
A light source that not reflecting off moonlight, not reflecting off flashlight. It's existing in itself. When Michelle saw him last night with the pulsating one that she can't explain.
We saw it twice. Once
Yeah.
it was blinking, and the next time it was huge, and it was just like kind of went into the next room. But
Wow.
it wasn't blinking that second time.
Yeah.
One of the lights we saw in the window,
Yeah.
we saw it first when he asked if we'd seen the light. And
That was just crazy. I was like, why are you outside?
Oh yeah, with the flashing light, which
Yeah.
I saw at a different location. I was on the private home, and I saw it too. Not really, other than that's what you guys were seeing.
You were like 2 blocks away, right?
Yeah, and it wasn't lightning, it wasn't thundering, it was just some flash of. You guys described it as white light. Is that what you
yeah,
saw?
just a
Yeah, it was
big
white.
white flash, and it was
See.
up high, up to the top of the door.
Yeah.
What I saw was reddish, like pinkish color, but I think it could be the curtains they had up maybe was playing with the
Yeah.
white light. But it was like the sky lit up, just boom, and I'm like, what was that, And I didn't know that's what you guys were seeing. And we heard some other odd occurrences, noises that we heard that accompanied the one that I saw that you guys didn't hear. But it was between you and us. I mean, where you guys were at situated and where we were at was just a matter of blocks away, and it was between us. So.
Well, the thing about that building is we actually tried something last night where Ruth and I would go to the far corner, and Michelle would stay up front, and she would yell,
Right.
like, hey, can you hear me? Whatever.
Right.
And nothing.
Yeah.
Couldn't hear at all.
They totally ignored me.
That's what we really did.
That's what they tell you. They can't hear you.
Yeah,
They are ignoring you.
they
Yeah.
are
We're actually going back there going, we're going to keep removing.
Yeah.
So I got a question for you.
Yes. Ask away, sir.
We always seem to go back to Tahlequah.
Yep.
I wish.
When I first really got in with the group and started getting the whole paranormal stuff, I'm going to take us back to the
1970.
church.
Oh, good.
Yeah. The
Yeah, go
church. That was the first time I started seeing, and these, I would say these are completely different than Tahlequah.
Talking about the blue lights.
No, I'm talking about the red dots.
Oh, red dots in general. Okay, go ahead. Yep. Infamous red dots.
Yeah, our other team member who's not here, Jason.
Yeah.
I started noticing when I was like, you know, I've never seen these red dots before. And Jason had kind of said, you know, we're starting to see them more.
Right.
And some of the other paranormal teams who we chat back and forth with said they're starting to see them. What's your thought on that?
If you do any kind of research online about them, I've heard 100 times over and over, kind of like the orb theory itself, dust, whatever, you know, and pictures with orbs. Same thing with the red dots. Everybody, because of the color and nature, they always assume it's a negative thing. They always say, oh, I saw a black shadow with these red dots. You know, it's always side by side. It seems like we're, you know, in conjunction with it. That's where it gets kind of weird. I mean, I don't know 100% if it's tied into this, because I know when you went to the church we were with you saw this.
Well, I started seeing them down in the basement.
Right.
And they were very faint.
Yeah.
But I'd ask Jason, what's up? You know, because I started thinking something's wrong with my eyes.
Right.
You know, but I knew I wasn't crazy, but I'm seeing these red dots.
Right.
And I've noticed them.
Yeah.
Sometimes in other places as
Right.
well now.
Right. Which.
Including
It's funny.
this building.
Including this building.
Yeah,
You know?
we record live in a haunted building, by the way, in case people don't know that by now.
He's not really here.
That's right. But it seems to be.
You started floating them out.
I've been in a lot of cases where I've seen these red dots, and it does seem to accompany some dark things going on at the time, which I don't know if they tie in directly like they say they do, but it's some kind of obvious energy form that's giving off some kind of, you know, color. Because we're in most of the time, probably 99.9% of the time, we're in pitch black. Even though the laser grid you saw looks like it's all fun and games, most of the time it's dark. I mean, so when you see these red dots, yeah, I really don't know what to think of them as
So,
far as
my question,
negative.
going back to,
Yeah.
is the ones that we were seeing, the red ones and the green ones, do you think those tie in to Tahlequah?
Yeah.
So you think what we see here
Oh, do you
is in the same? I think it was completely
No, they're
different.
different
what we
ones.
saw.
I'm sorry, I
Okay.
misunderstood your last
That's
question.
my question
No.
was.
No. They're different ones, I believe. So, I think it depends on what's happening at the location, whether it be, you know, maybe a tragic event or whether it be just a death or something. I don't know. It's hard to say. I do know that the first time I was in Tahlequah and I saw these red dots in the cemetery, that I thought they were red glowing eyes staring out because they was by a tree line. I was in the cemetery staring right at us. I'm like, oh my god, I see red dots. Those look like red eyes. And one of our trigger objects was to go find a certain grave, and I didn't know what the location was, because that's why Ben, our former teammate, was calling Jeremiah behind the scene and saying, hey, what are we supposed to be looking for? Who are we looking for? Kind of a thing. And then he answered the phone and said, oh, that's where this particular person's headstone is. So whatever was lurking me, or lurking in the bushes, was leading me to this location. I'm not paying attention to what Ben's doing. I'm over here talking to the rest of the group, like, I see red dots, red eyes. Oh my god, those are eyes glowing. Because this spot also has been known to have a shapeshifter occur that was challenging one of the author of the book, Brandon Callahan, at the time, when he was down there. I was looking for that, and all of a sudden this red dot's coming out of nowhere, and I'm like, what the heck's going on? So it's like,
Well, Liam, did
Yeah.
you see the white ones?
and where?
The cemetery. You see, I was seeing hundreds of white dots. I mean,
Just
they were all
dots.
over the place.
I don't remember
Little
what I
bright
saw.
little.
I saw the green ones. I saw the
I
red
saw
and
the
greens.
green and red.
I don't remember
That's
seeing whites.
amazing, because all I saw was the whites, and they were all over the place.
Right. No, I
What
did
color
see
is
it.
Cody's shirt?
Right, I thought the same thing. Colorblind.
I
Well,
have to actually disagree with the negative aspect of that.
yeah. See, I'm not sold on it.
Yeah, I mean, another one of your team members, the first time she actually asked, I was next to you, does your cameras project a red light or
Right.
anything? Because I saw it over there
Uh-huh.
and, such and such. And I was like, no. And Rose like, I have the IR light, but it doesn't project anything.
Right.
So,
Right.
no. I wouldn't say that anything in that
Yeah,
instance
see that?
was...
Yeah, I heard noise. Sorry.
Wow.
That's why.
Okay,
I
maybe I'm wrong. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Prove me wrong.
It begs the
Don't do
difference.
it.
Well, let's go back to the white lights Michelle was talking about in that metallic wall. We remember we did see them on the property now, though. Those were white. Do you remember down? You may not have been there that first night when we saw these.
I saw
No,
lightning
Paula
bugs.
saw them, so she was there.
Yeah, I saw lightning bugs on the property.
Right,
And these were just real small,
right,
bright white. They were solid white.
right.
And one particularly, I was just sitting watching it.
Yeah.
And it went up and it sat, well, whatever it was doing,
Whatever
it
it
was
was
there,
doing.
right there.
Right.
And then it just shot straight up, clear above the tree.
Okay, now that's where it gets kind of weird, because with that case, this is where they had sighting of UFOs. So,
Good job. Scott.
you just mentioned something that was interesting, that this thing shot straight up in the air, and
And
they
that's-
saw the white lights, the silver lights, the blue lights, they call them, whatever, on the property in front of, outside their window, mind you.
Small like that?
Oh, they were real small, and there were hundreds.
Have
Have
I mean,
you
they
seen the
were all
UFO
over
ship
the place.
before?
Yeah, you know, I got one.
got that anal probe, did you?
Well,
Isn't that how you got here today? You're
Yeah.
having car trouble. You took the UFO, right?
You know, you're not supposed to say that on air, dude.
I mean, who are you?
The men in black are gonna be
I was
after
gonna
me
say.
now.
No, but I mean, going back to that same story, it's like they described the lights doing the same thing. They described these little witches doing the same thing, behaving the same way. The shapeshifter did the exact same thing. If you ask Brandon Callahan, he'll tell you this thing just stood there and just shot straight up in the air and just took off backwards. So,
I think that's actually in the book. That part.
yeah. So, I mean, what are we seeing? What is it? I don't know. But
I just
it's-
said little fairies, because.
Yeah, and that's what they described as little witches.
So
And
did
you're
the
seeing
lights
these
at the
lights.
cemetery do that too, where they shot up?
That was at the cemetery where I saw them all.
Oh, okay.
The
And
thing
they
that
were all
was
over
weird,
the place.
the thing that was weird on the video on the YouTube page, on the Everyday Legacy Paranormal YouTube page, that video is on there for the cemetery lights. Now, people are going to say, like, you had laser pointers, but there's no laser trails. We're filming in, and that camera I had in my hand was in full spectrum video. So you look at the video, you'll see us, we look purplish,
Yeah.
purple hue to us. That's the color of the spectrum that's in. But those lights aren't. They're in green, they're in red,
And
well, yeah, white. And one of them, I didn't know at the time. I'm walking and going towards where I see him. One shoots right past me in the video, which I never saw until I watched the video. I'm like, oh man, I didn't see that past me. So maybe this is what people refer to as the infamous ghost lights they see everywhere. I mean, because you do have reports of, like, especially with trains, seeing these dots like this in the distance and pulsating, appearing, disappearing, you know, and people were trying to walk to them and never able to get to them.
Get to them, reach them.
So, and there was never any in front of us that close, like, here I am, now grab me, kind of a thing. It's always
They were
moving.
never in the cemetery. They were on.
They're on the
Well,
outskirts.
So I thought, but the video says otherwise.
Really?
I didn't notice it because I'm walking and it shoots. You'll see it go like bouncing past me.
Really?
Yeah. So I don't know what that was. It wasn't a bug, insect. It was one of the lights that we captured that night in the actual cemetery down in Tahlequah. And everybody saw these lights that was in there at different times, different locations, but never, you're right, never in the cemetery itself other than the one that was on camera, which nobody saw.
This is
So-
why we have to keep talking about these things, because
Right.
new things come out all the time.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, and this is why we do the discussions on these. This is why we do the podcast, basically. We're trying to get all the information in and out of
It's amazing how, like,
what we do.
even years later, you could, like, realize something or put two and two together.
Right.
I mean, coming from an outsider perspective, because unfortunately I've never been there, but
Right.
it's amazing because, I mean, the first time I met with you and you told me about this book, I mean, I went out and bought it the next day.
Yeah.
Thinking, oh, this is going to be just a good thing to laugh at. And I've had you tell me, hey, it sounds like BS, but
Yeah, I'll stand by it.
Jeremiah, it sounds like BS, but road. I mean, everyone, and hearing it from everyone's point of view
Right.
kind of brings it to a whole. Like, those little missing pieces that you get from each side kind of
Right.
fill in with each other, and you just sit back and go, wow.
One thing.
I'm gonna try to pull that video from
YouTube.
from the YouTube, the
Yeah.
ELP YouTube
Yeah.
channel over.
One thing I'll say while he's doing that is, Max made a good point. We were connecting the dots, but just kidding. What do you call it? I totally lost my train of thought. I should have said that.
It was funny.
Talking about the book itself. Just want to throw that out there that anybody in our group is not receiving a dime of the book. So I mean, it's not like I promote the hell out of it and hey, I'm trying to sell numbers here because I want my pockets filled. No, I did it because I contributed to the book because this is a story that I wanted to help. I've been wanting to tell it for years, and we couldn't because of the sensitivity of it, the behind-the-scenes stuff of it, and finally it got actually brought out to the public, and I was chomping at the bit to contribute to it, and everything we told was 100% true in the book. And I'm not here to convince you, but I mean, I'm telling you, you have my word. Everybody in this room that was part of it can tell you 100% everything in there is real. But it's up to you to decide. I can't contribute. Or,
I'm a believer.
Yeah. I mean, and the thing I like about it, when people get the opportunity to come out with us in places, they are real skeptics, which is fine. I love skeptics because then they come investigate with us, and they're just, sometimes we turn people around in their own homes, like, oh my God, I've left the case, and a person will call me later on and be like, hey, my husband did not believe in any of this stuff until you guys came in and he experienced it firsthand with you, and you made a believer out of him. And we didn't go in there and, stage anything, and nothing was fake, because they're with us. Why would we do that? We're here to collect the evidence, get the truth out there, and they come out better than ever, they're like, he's a believer now, so.
Like being enlightened.
Yep. We have just about 21 minutes left in the podcast here, so if anybody has anything they want to ask or say, or, the number's still out there, 316-807-1166. And we will be doing it next weekend. I know it's Memorial Day weekend, so please, come back and be with us next week. We plan on doing these podcasts every week, same time, 7 to 9 Central Standard Time on Sundays. We promote them on our websites, on all social media. That way, if there ever was going to be a change, we'll let you guys know, kind of like with tonight's change as far as where to find us. We broadcast that out to all the websites and all of our. Even Max did a good job help promoting with us too. So
Thank you, Max.
Yep, we
I
appreciate
can't
that.
a lot about you guys. I share everything.
And like I said, we'll get more guests in the studio with us, or on the phone lines when they call in. There's going to be people from all over. We plan on getting other teams, paranormal teams, possibly other Bigfooting teams, anything. I got people that are lined up already that want to talk to us. We got authors talking to us about their experiences, what they've documented. At some point, we're going to have Brandon Callahan on here, maybe in the studio. Probably not, because he lives out of town, but he'll probably phone in. He loves doing
Get
these
him to
podcasts.
come here. It's just
He has to work next day, so so on Mondays are kind of, unless we change our date at some point in time, whatever. We'll,
Special showing. Just
yeah. So he'll come down.
Well, if you see me outside with a pen in the book, I'm sorry.
Fanboy. I'm kidding.
I'm not even kidding.
No, I appreciate Max. It's been an honor to work with him on the cases we have so far and just get to know him and his team. He has a phenomenal group of people that he works with.
I'm not finding some of the info I need to pull
Okay.
that video over, but if we can pull it over to my hard drive at some point,
Yeah.
then at some point in the future we can.
Is there a reason the feed went black?
Yeah.
Is it because you're trying to do that stuff?
Yeah, I tried
Okay.
to transit, but
Yeah.
it's missing some of the info it needs. It'll come back. The cams will come back up shortly.
Gotcha.
Do you
I
like-
gotcha.
how much time we got left?
About 17
Yeah, 18 minutes, yep.
So I'm going to throw us for a loop here. Of course, you guys are used to me doing that. Since we do have a special guest here with us, the last three we've done, we've hit Bigfoot, talked a lot about different types of paranormal. I noticed today when we were driving on our way to Wichita, and I'm going to throw this one at you here, Max. Max told me that he's really into Roswell.
Yep.
Yeah,
And
that's
I
my-
find
that's
that
my
pretty
stuff.
fascinating. So, we've got 17 minutes. Figured we'd maybe throw that out there a little bit. And
I think Jeremiah can answer some of these questions. He's got back
We've
from
actually
Roswell.
talked
Yeah,
not
we
too far, yeah.
talked
yeah.
at length
We
about
nerd
that.
out all the time.
Yeah,
so,
So what about Roswell? What do you want to know? What do you want to talk about?
First
what
off,
can I answer for you?
Once again, if Jason was here, him and I would just go hours on this topic.
Jason's at home going,
Yeah,
why'd I miss it?
yeah, we love Roswell and Area 51 and all that stuff,
Yeah.
you can go on for hours upon hours about this. But go ahead, what do you want to talk about? I love that stuff.
Well, first off, I want to throw out there that a lot of the stuff that I've been through and that I've researched,
Sure.
I love the research, I love the history
that's what
part
we do
of
too.
it.
Yep.
Is actually, I'm gonna go ahead and plug my website here.
Oh gosh.
Guys, check me out.
Okay, mute it. Go ahead.
Call it alien interference. Phantomskeep.blogspot.com.
Yep,
I
give it a
have
follow.
all the experiences that my team has gone through, things that we've researched, anything from paranormal hauntings,
Mm-hmm.
conspiracies,
Right.
anything like that. And I think that you can't really think of the smaller picture of the main question, do aliens exist,
Right.
without going into conspiracies.
Right.
Because at some point they cross. It's like ley lines of the
Of
land.
course. Yep.
They cross. From a very young age, I had an experience where I was in my room listening to a radio station, a popular radio station in Florida, and it was almost like the spirit box effect, where it started shifting
Right.
stations and
Yeah.
everything, and
You get some static sounds. and
this
stuff like
weird
that.
robotic sound coming through it,
Right.
and I couldn't figure it out. And being young at the time, I'm like, oh my god, aliens, and I'm gonna be abducted. So it actually sent me on an obsession, I say,
Right.
of trying to find this out and researching back in 1947 and Roswell and everything before that as
Yep.
well, because that couldn't have been the starting.
Yep.
But that's
Oh,
the
no.
most nationally known
Yeah.
cover-up story about the weather balloon and everything else. like
Right.
that.
Right.
Right quick, Max, you said that was phantomskeep.blogspot.com?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Just put it on the chat. I can tell.
Appreciate you.
Yeah.
Follow
Yeah.
me, I'm just saying.
Twitter and Facebook too. But
A quick topic that maybe we could all do, and like get some people to call in maybe next time or something. Is
Yeah.
our weirdest experiences, or like our scariest experiences that maybe we could all go through like, real quick.
No, as a team, you guys probably have hundreds.
We actually did that our first show.
Yeah.
you have no idea. I
It
mean,
was-
it's.
Weren't you watching?
But yeah, no. With aliens, it's not. To me, it's not a question of do they or don't they. It's like what if
What
they
if?
exist because,
Or the where?
or why can't they exist kind of a
Yeah.
thing because
My question is, when will we see them?
maybe you have
Well,
Why
I
don't
mean,
we
realize
get
that.
you yet?
I mean, when are we really gonna know that we have?
Tahlequah. I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
And
Yeah.
full circle.
Yep, always. Yep. No, I mean, because you hear the stories behind it when people have some kind of alien encounter.
They're
It's
real.
always the old, hey, to me, I'm here the whole time, nothing's changed, but then they got telltale signs of things that, hey, I lost time. It's hours upon hours later or something. They black out, whatever. Oh, you know what? I remember waking up and seeing these, kind of a thing. So, I mean, how do we know that they do or don't? And
They're
well,
always
everybody,
real.
here's a question everybody poses. Well, if they're technical, or they're more advanced than we are here on Earth, why aren't they here now? I mean, why haven't they shown themselves? I mean, because obviously they can go back and forth between interplanetary travel. So, how do you know they're? I mean, people always ask, well, why haven't we seen it yet? Why isn't there evidence? But how do you know
There
we
is.
have it? I mean, yeah, there is.
I mean,
there's
I
stuff out
think
there.
there's 100% evidence, and whether you choose to accept it or not,
Right.
can go into any sort of subject,
Ghost.
paranormal or
Yeah.
exactly.
Ghost real. They're
even,
not.
even as simple, or
They
not
are.
as simple, but as basic in human nature as religion.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yep.
How can you believe this? Well, I do, because
Yeah.
I've seen blah 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 blah.
Right.
So I mean, it's in every aspect. There's claims of most of our technology now
Based upon.
is based upon
Yeah.
what has been found or what has been
Right.
left.
Right.
Jason was actually telling a story earlier at breakfast about the gorilla that can sign,
Yep.
and how she was just like, humans are stupid.
Right.
You guys are destroying everything.
Right.
What if they feel the same way? Like, no, we're not coming to you guys.
Right.
Look what you're doing.
Mhm.
We're going to give you something, and you're going to totally mutilate it
Yeah.
because we're just not good with power. It happens. But yeah, I totally believe. I don't know how you feel about the alien subject.
oh, I actually believe, I know that, personally,
Yeah.
I totally, completely believe that they're there.
Right.
How about you?
I've seen a couple videos, and yeah, I believe that there's something there because some things just can't be explained
You bring up a good point. In this day and age, video, you think would be our best friend, and also works against us because, I mean, in this day and age, I have a phone, you have a phone, you have a phone.
Mm-hmm.
It has a camera on there. It has, you can download software anywhere. You can CGI stuff. You can do.
Yeah.
It works
Yeah.
against us some days because just because we have the evidence captured, audio, video. People sometimes still question, well, how do I know that's real? You know, kind of thing. And,
Yeah. Well, I can't blame them.
Yeah.
You
Why
know,
would you?
it's-
I mean, that's.
You see things that are so obviously fake, and then
Right.
something real comes along, and what are you gonna do with it?
Right.
You know? Oh, that's just a better fake.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep. But the thing I like about it, most of the ones that are fake, that look real, have been called out and they, under pressure, cracked and they've admitted it. Yeah.
Just
Did
kidding.
you see that?
Yeah. Yep.
What happened?
It was moving.
Interesting. Guys,
Yeah.
leave us alone for a little bit.
Once again, we are filming in a haunted place like always, and
You know, here's one of my
Things
questions,
happen
and
here.
guys, I'm not real big into the whole, UFO thing, but talking to you guys and Jason and Max for 4.5 hours.
Well, it was actually
Today.
9 there and back.
But, one of my questions is as far as the UFO deal goes, and people out there listening to me might think I'm crazy right now, but it's because I just don't know.
right.
But one of my questions is, okay, there's military bases all over the world. There are military bunkers that are all over the world. You can walk up to those. They'll ask you what you're doing. You need to, go get a badge and walk in or whatever. You get close to
About
Roswell.
20 miles.
It's not even running anymore. And within 20 miles, you're being escorted by black Suburbans
Yeah.
I really think they need to
over
change
a
the
hot
cars.
air balloon.
Yeah.
I had
Over a hot air
exactly.
balloon?
I actually
I mean-
have a
But it was
How
just
do
a
I
hot air
describe
balloon,
who this
so-
person is? Okay, I'll just say it outright. He's my ex-father-in-law. He, him and my ex-wife both told me stories of how they were up in the mountains riding motorcycles one time out in Colorado Springs, and they got lost on this one back road up on, I think it was called Gold Camp Road. They got lost on it, and all of a sudden they're just swarmed and surrounded by military vehicles. Well, it turns out they were within about 3 miles of the entrance to NORAD.
Oh.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That's
you know,
another one.
and they're just swarmed.
Why?
Yeah. There definitely got to be
I
hiding
think it's
something.
a weather balloon thing.
Mm.
Yeah, that was an expensive weather balloon.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess. I mean,
Right?
I guess that's been one of my biggest questions, is
Mm.
that why such big security?
What are
Mhm.
the
Over a weather
disappearances
balloon.
that have been
Right.
related to that?
I did some research on like conspiracy theories of like the Bermuda Triangle, and there's a couple things of one, like the water density changes in that area, so like that's why ships sink, and then there's apparently a water base, like an Area 51, but for the Bermuda Triangle. I think it's based on like the tip of Florida or something like that in that area, and basically it's supposedly
Of course, it
like
has to be Florida.
they do like underwater, like submarine tactic strategies and firing weapons and all that. But why? I mean, it's like on there, but what if we're not being told the whole truth?
You're not.
Oh no!
Never
Oh
mind.
no! Absolutely
We're
not.
never going to be
We're
told
not.
the
No.
truth.
There's also that brings around to another whole subject in this kind of line is not UFOs but USOs,
Okay.
unidentified submersible
Yes,
objects. Where there's been countless accounts of people seeing ships and crafts emerging from the ocean, going back into the ocean. I mean, and they.
Which
That's
is
a whole-
actually a theory about the Loch Ness Monster as well, that it's
Yes,
not actually a
yep.
monster, that it's a mechanical thing that's doing
Mm-hmm.
a certain whatever.
That's a whole other show.
Oh, jeez.
Mm-hmm.
There's also a thing that I don't know if I necessarily believe in it, but if like Atlantis, I don't know if it's real or any of that, but I'm thinking maybe it could be under the Bermuda Triangle area, maybe.
There was actually a documentary on that. I think they actually did a pretty good job on that documentary too.
But don't people travel through Bermuda Triangle all the time? I mean,
Yeah.
they
It
fly
still has
over,
a higher
they
than
travel.
normal incidence of unexplained
Strange
disappearances and
occurrences.
such.
Yeah.
A lot of
There was
interference for mechanical interference.
Still.
Oh,
There is
yeah,
a-
always.
There's a
Always
story
will.
I read on about that where these 3 guys were flying back from, I can't remember, these islands, and they were flying over the Bermuda Triangle, and they saw this really low cloud, and they were flying, so they went ahead and went above it to see if see if they can get away from it. And when they got there, they finally got above it, and it was like 11,000 feet, and the cloud was about 3,000 to 5,000 feet, which is definitely normal for a cloud. When they got above it, they noticed that there was another area or layer of clouds above them, and it kind of like pancaked into them. And they saw like flashes, but they didn't hear thunder or lightning and all that.
Right.
And then when they got above that, they were in like a funnel somehow. And apparently they were in Florida within like less than 30 minutes of flying, which that's not possible from those islands down over
Right.
like Mexico and all that to fly to Florida in 30 minutes.
Like a time slip or
Yeah.
something. Wow.
Hey, they have a shortcut. We should probably check it out.
Yeah.
Which you brought up a point. You talking about airline pilots and stuff like that. You talk to some of those pilots. They, like the Air Force, the commercial airliners, people that travel as astronauts, NASA. They will tell you they've seen so many things up there that they cannot describe,
Mhm.
other than they've seen something they may or may not want to talk about. So it brings up a good point that.
Well, there was one documentary I saw where some of the astronauts had actually been instructed
They couldn't.
to deny it,
Right.
deny experiences they've had and such.
And then they talk about it on their deathbeds.
Yep. Yep.
Because what are you going to do to me? I'm dying tomorrow.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Just so you know, we have about 6 minutes or so left in the podcast. People out there in podcast land. So next week, like I said, we will be back same time. Jeremiah should be here, right?
Yes.
He may or may not be.
I won't be, but we'll make sure that there's something for you guys to watch.
Right. We'll have a podcast going on. So yep.
We took cartoons on there.
So
This is Jeremiah.
be thinking about your next topics. I mean, as far as if you guys have out there in viewership land, if you have any questions to us, anything you want to hear about us talk about, like I said, please call in. We'll definitely talk with you live on the air, or we'll get random phone calls for personal reasons. And Ruby,
Somebody was trying to deliver something.
yeah, you have to
and
explain
they were
stuff to me.
calling, So
That's a conspiracy.
But like I said, we're gonna do this every week, and we're gonna keep the topics coming. Well, it doesn't have to always be paranormal. It doesn't have to be UFOs. It doesn't have to be. We love conspiracy theories. We love anything unknown, basically. So that's why we do what we do. And we'll have our guests, like I said, come in frequently.
Thanks so much for not only letting me join the investigation yesterday, this whole weekend,
Yeah.
but also letting me be here tonight.
Yeah.
Really honored. Thank you.
Yeah, well, that's another thing too. We don't like the whole political side of things when it comes to the paranormal. I mean,
Yeah,
you got people that
it's
are.
all ridiculous.
It's, I thought we're all here for the same cause, and that's why we're more than welcome to invite anybody on a vacation or a vacation.
Vacation.
Location. And a vacation. It's late. We're tired. Like I said, I think in the last week or so, I've probably got maybe 4 hours sleep daily if I'm lucky. So I'm running.
I know that feeling.
I'm running off. I think we're all kind of feeling the same sentiment. And Charlene pointed out, she goes, "You guys look tired." We are, Charlene. We're very tired. But hey, it was worth it. I would never trade it for the world.
how
I
much
would
time
love
do
to
we
do it.
have left, real quick?
We got 4 minutes.
Okay,
Yes.
Charlene, is she still with us?
Well, she should be.
Okay, if you are, Max, we're not going to let the name out, but
Right.
go ahead and tell the little story here real quick. See if Charlene can answer us.
Well, I was actually very frustrated of not being able to entice whatever was going on. So I said, okay, you guys don't like talking to us. You don't.
Yep.
You like talking to Miss Charlene? Let's go ahead and do a test. I'm gonna say 2 words. You're gonna go ahead and tell Charlene those 2 words, and then tell her to call Rove with those 2 words. So, Miss Charlene, if you were there today at all, if you got, speaking to that particular area or whatever, just let us know. Yeah, if you know those 2 words.
Call me, Charlene.
Yep.
I know the 2 words. I want to know if they told you.
Before we wrap up tonight, I do have a special announcement. Do you guys want to know?
Yeah.
Today is a special day in
Oh,
the world.
shit.
Really?
Yes.
Shut up.
Our producer, our team founder, and our brother in crime, Jeremiah Norwood's birthday is today. I won't give your age. The lady never tells her age or her
Oh,
weight.
right,
so,
right. I'm gonna throw
But
something
I wanna
at
give
you.
Thank you for everything you've done for us, man. Happy birthday, brother. I mean,
Happy
it's been an
birthday.
honor to work with you. Yep.
Thank you.
I
Thank
remember
you
the
guys.
first time you walked out of your truck when I was in, anyways, that story, I was so excited to actually get to meet him.
So Ruth was the original fangirl.
Yeah.
No, I'm taking
We all are. When I
was
first
like,
started
is
the
that
team,
Jeremiah?
when I first started the team, Jeremiah was kind of doing one of his sabbaticals that he wasn't with the team at the time, and I heard so many stories about him. When he walked in, it's like a rock star walks in. He does exist.
Yeah, the
And
only
it's-
thing that missed that day was that whistle, from like the Western. What was that?
The new
Yeah,
show.
I was just like,
Yeah,
wow,
but no,
that's
it's been an honor working with him
Thank
throughout
you.
the years. We've had some good times, we've had some crazy times, scary times, we've had some laughs, and it's been a blast, man. I'm glad you're started with us.
Really and true. Honestly, the honor's been all mine. I started this whole thing for this right here
Yeah.
to help people, but not only that, but to give us all a chance to be able to get together and
Yeah.
and do this kind of stuff, have fun with it,
Right.
and it's been absolutely amazing to watch that all come to pass.
Yeah,
So
we've come a long ways, haven't we?
yeah,
And then
yeah,
some.
long ways.
Yeah, so, well, guys, we have about less than a minute left in the podcast, so we want to thank you guys, the viewers.
Tell everybody on chat, no.
No.
They were, I think some of the people were going, the two words were happy birthday.
I was like, wait.
That's not quite it.
No, not it.
I don't even know what the words are, so I know it's not happy birthday. So, well, thank you guys. It's 9 o'clock.
Thank you.
We'll see you next time, guys. Cryptic
Good night.
Heartland podcast.
That was a good one.
Yep, we're good.
Sorry, Jeremiah, I had to put you on.